Hey, how's it going, everyone? Just want to talk a little bit about corporate America and just not that there's any really new information here, but it's more just encouragement for people who might be going through something that I've gone through twice now. So actually, twice, yeah, twice. So it's sad that I don't know how many times I've gone through this, but there are things called performance improvement plans that looks like are pretty common now in the U.S. And it's a tool HR and managers use to just basically weed people out or encourage people to leave in without firing them, just kind of giving people notice, that the company's not pleased with them or their manager's not pleased with them and they don't fit into the corporate culture and this and that. So I got one at Amazon and another one at a smaller company that I work for, and both really for the same reasons. It's like it's nothing. I've realized now it's not the individual corporation's fault, so I'm not throwing shade on either of those companies. It's just the whole system that we live in, and it's like I was basically not the type, and I'm not the type to this day who will just do things just because my boss tells me to, and just say stuff and type stuff and think about things or approach things in a certain way, if I don't feel that it's good for the company. And this is the weird thing about the corporate world, which shows that it's under the beast system, is that even if you're trying to help the company, even people high up in the company don't want the company to improve because they're only concerned about their job security at this point. And their incentives are not efficiency. It's really just people are just so scared from even at the very top that trying to help the quote unquote help the company will get you nowhere, and in fact it'll probably piss a lot of people off. And I wasn't even trying to do necessarily groundbreaking things. I was at Amazon a little bit trying to push the envelope, and push the boundaries and really implement some new things. But at the company that I was working for, that this happened to me a second time, I was just nothing super revolutionary, but still going against the grain, and trying to like advance things and stuff like that. So, and to me they're pretty like minor improvements. They weren't like game changing type things, but it just shows people are really really concerned about job security. And if you fall out of line, managers have these things called performance improvement plans, which HR will sit down with you, me, and my manager, and then HR, and tell you that there's these things wrong and you have this much time to fix it, and if there's not real improvement, then the company will let you go. And so that's out there. And just what the only reason I'm kind of posting this video is more just what I've learned now. It's like I don't really blame the companies anymore. It's not Amazon's fault or Payco's fault when this happened to me at Payco. It's like it's the whole system. The whole system is corrupt. It's like if it was like one company that had these tactics and they were just known to be tough and ruthless, that would be one thing. But it's all the companies that are like this. And I've also worked for Bed Bath and Beyond, and though I didn't go through that performance improvement plan, it was a very similar experience. Like there's just so much like turmoil in politics in corporate America. It's obviously not going to get placed on the mainstream news because then something might change about it, but we know that this system is designed, or it's becoming more and more obvious to me that the system is designed for the RFID microchip, because that is the ultimate thing that will be your signature and tell you that you're down with this system, and you just don't want to veer off that path or speak up against stuff or whatever. Like you just want to go along with it, no matter what. You just want to stay alive, basically. To me, it's a signature of the fact that you probably do not believe in eternal life, or anything spiritual. And I just from what I believe, I feel that there are a lot of people on Earth that maybe they have a spirit, but it's like they're blocked in their mind. They're like God has not put Himself on their mind, or the idea that they even thought of an afterlife or anything. So but once people, even if you believe there's a chance there's an afterlife, living in this world starts to be like, seem like a really bum deal. Like you don't really want to, it's like, it's just like probability. It's like if there's a 10% chance that there's a life better than this, even that is a great hope, that whatever, it's like, who cares what happens here then? If I lose my job or I die or whatever, it's like, whatever, there's a 10% chance that there's something better and potentially much better. So it's high risk because we don't know for sure. But I think more and more people, especially now with flat Earth, we're starting to, realize that there's something beyond this, for sure. And to me, it's impossible that it can be worse, and be livable. This is pretty much the worst that it could be because, at least with the bodies that we have, sorry, that's an important caveat. With the bodies that we have, this life for a lot of people, it's actually beyond bearable. Some people are just like stretching themselves to points where it doesn't even make sense for their body. The amount of hours they work, the amount of emotional pain they probably have with their family, the amount of just physical pain that they might have been born with, and just struggles. They're stretching it beyond what's normal. So, or what our body's designed for. So, that's it's becoming like that. And I wish I had this perspective when I was going through these situations, because it probably would have still ended up in the same way, but I probably would have been able to hang on for a little bit longer, just being a little bit more poised and stuff, and not sending, quarrelsome, argumentative emails back and forth, because I'm not going to win. And I'm not even fighting against HR or my manager. I'm fighting against the whole system. The whole system is corrupt. So, that's what I know now. And, I just, hopefully I didn't say anything, too disruptive, to other people's lives. Because now more than ever, I don't want to do that. It's not an individual's fault. If I blame anybody for this, it's God's fault, and I do blame him for this. But I also give him credit for, everything that he's done. He's created an earth, sun and a moon. He's created, people, and put spirits in them, and then created storylines, billions of them. And, that's not an easy thing. Not everybody can do that. So I give him credit for that. But I do complain directly to God now, whether he listens or I mean, we know that he's aware, but whether it's something that has any impact or not, I don't know. But, it's like I have to, at this point, give credit to where credit is due, and it's due to him. No one else could devise a system like this, because to me the system doesn't make any sense, because there's so many people who are oppressed, but they just are too scared to say stuff. And it's like, I understand some people would have that, but it's pretty much everybody's like that, really. Like, no one wants to speak up against the system, because we know that what it will cost you pretty much, what it will cost us is our lives, is our livelihood in the very least. And so it makes sense, we're in this time where it's very difficult to believe that God exists and that there's an afterlife and stuff like that. And it makes sense, because to me, this is a very, very non-spiritual time. At least there were times, I'm sure in the past, where there are people who, were pious, righteous, had interactions with God. Maybe there was healing, miracles, revelation, something, and it doesn't seem like that right now. It just seems like everybody's politicking, just to stay alive. And that's no different than in corporate America. In fact, it's magnified in corporate America. And, that's just the way it is, and it's funny, even during these performance plans, I could tell that the people giving them, didn't believe in it. Like, they were just being told to do it by someone above them or above them. So, that's, again, I say this, and it's not really forcing on a change a person's situation, but just know that, I've gone through it. And, if anybody's going through it, feel free to reach out to me, email me or whatever, and we can set up a time to talk, and I can give you my experience and ways that I would have done things differently. I'm lucky because I wouldn't have done things drastically differently, because it's who I am, is what I realize. Like, my personality just does not vibrate with corporate America, and maybe there's a company out there that doesn't invoke a lot of the beast system policies, but they all do to some extent or another. Like, just the thought of having to ask to go on medical doctor's visits, like someone watching where you are, and just 2 weeks vacation, and getting paid with pieces of paper. It's like, this whole thing is stupid, and a lot of the work is non-creative. You're not allowed to advance anything, unless it's at the benefit of your manager. And so, I get that makes sense, but I'm saying it's stupid. It's literally a place designed to create people who will obey, blindly. And, that's, and it's like a lot of it is just social dynamics. creating networks and leverage and like, you know, creating security for yourself, you know, and stuff like that. And it's not even humans' fault. It's just, this is the playing field that we're in. So, you know, that's what people naturally do to try and prolong their life, prolong their career, prolong their interests, you know, that type of thing. So, you know, that's the situation we're in. These performance improvements plan are obviously like, you know, just one of the many, many tools and devices that, you know, make corporate America a completely satanic playing field.